Får vi livestreamen med tekst her, eller hvor får vi det igjen?
Se webinar-gruppa. Med live.
Ja, det er en gruppe. Hvilken gruppe er det?
Conference rooms.
Ja, ok, skjønner. Right.
So, we're live.
Hello, everyone.
So, first webinar in a couple of weeks. Been busy working on reinvigorating our slightly modified plan for the ICO, and have been working our asses off, building a great strategy and continuing on our technology, building more partners, more people who can contribute to our project. So please type in your questions on our Telegram group, and our colleagues will funnel those questions into FriendChat. So perhaps you, Arne, can just give a slight update, just generally speaking, of what's going on, and then we can move over to the questions later.
Yeah, it's been quite a ride. Yes, just yesterday I spoke to another project who also decided to pause their ICO process and token generating event just the day after we announced our pause. And so we're talking to a lot of others who are in the same situation and trying to ride out the storm and handle the market as it is. We probably started our pre-sale and our ICO process at one of the worst possible times, as the market was, as it was dropping. And coming up to Easter, we saw that this was definitely not going to happen in the time and pace that we wanted. A lot of interest, but the whole general market conditions were definitely not in our favor. It's like swimming upwards in the river. So we put it on pause. In the meantime, we've been busy doing a seed round with equity in the conventional part of the business in order to make sure we can continue with the same pace and continue with not losing time, basically. That round is still open, and we've introduced people that those who are interested in participating in the equity bridge can do so. And then at the same time, we've been listening to the market, listening to advisors. We got some new advisors on board as well. I'm happy to report we now have a big whale and an advisor in the same on board, and we will also be able to tell people who they are soon. They have already committed to participate in the pre-sale, and we have discussed how to structure this the best possible way. Now, what we have communicated to you guys is that we are reducing the soft cap from 25K to 10K Ether, and then we are setting the whole TGE in 4 tiers, so 10K, 25K, 50K, and 75K as the max cap in the ICO. The details here we will also spell out after this webinar. Then the big question I think everyone is waiting for is how much have we filled in the pre-sale, and when do we start the TGE? We have filled 1/3 of the pre-sale. That's a mix of Ether and fiat, and we are planning the pre-sale to start on the 28th of May. That's the Monday, in just about 2 weeks and about 16 days, 17 days. 28th of May we will start at 9 AM Central European time. So very soon we will have our new web page up and running, which will have the full overview and the countdown, so that you know what's going on. And the second part of this is the window will then remain open from the 28th of May until the 21st of December, or max cap. So if we reach max cap earlier, we will of course stop it. If not, we will continue open window all the way to the 21st of December. And then we will continuously mint tokens, and everything will then, the bonuses are then linked to these 4 tiers, tier 1, 2, 3, and 4. And finally, we took it upon ourselves to update the white paper with a lot of new information. We will also include some of the presentations that we have been giving. So we actually copied in a lot of the user stories, and I think it will be a lot more readable white paper now that we release it. And this has to be translated, of course, to all the languages, but we will release the English version very soon, probably over the weekend. And then, so everything remains more or less the same. It's just including more of the learning that we have received from all of you and from advisors, and what we have experienced over the last 6 months. So in essence, we are back on the road. We will also launch a new bounty program, and maybe Hogne, you want to talk to us a bit more about what we're doing. We're gonna play a game.
Yes, so we have been planning for a while the quest system. We talked a little bit about this before, but essentially what it means is that you go into Friend and then you find secrets in the form of a hash that you can paste into a quest master application to submit for getting your tokens that way. This way we'll kind of lead you through breadcrumbs through Friend, so that you get to experience all the functionality firsthand. And so in a way it is us giving back for you, learning how Friend works, and for spending the time to experience our technology base. So the quest system, every user on friendsky.cloud will be fitted with a Questmaster widget where you can paste in your secrets as you find them. And the secrets, they will be unveiled while playing a game, using friend chat, going through our file systems, and interacting with our system. So in a way, it's a gamified friend workspace experience.
Very cool. So we will also target, as normal, the community for this bounty to help us spread the word. And we're definitely open to listen to suggestions you might have. You can PM me directly or Hogne directly, or post in the Telegram group if you have suggestions or proposals. Now we also are thinking, how do we get the message out on other channels? And we are not so much present today on Reddit or on Bitcoin Talk, and we definitely want to do something about that. So those are possibly our pain points, and if anyone of you guys want to help out with getting our presence there, please feel free to contact us.
Okay.
So we talk about the new video, which we are about to launch also.
Yeah, we have made a new video about our blockchain project in ICO. Some great guys submitted us the first take on it 2 weeks ago, and it's a great video. We can't wait to share it. And it in a much better way than ever before explains how Friend will change computing online for the people who want to pick up this technology, how it is a game changer, and how it is a very unique project in the blockchain space. We still have to do a final adjustment, but after we've done that, it will be available on our website and in all the channels that we have. It's definitely a video that you should send to all your contacts and in your networks for people perhaps who didn't know what Friend was from the material we had, or who simply want to have this update or haven't seen it before. So we got in a couple of questions, and let's take the token related or bonus related question first. So any chance of an extra bonus for those who have contributed 2 months ago, somebody's asking. What would you say to that, Arne?
Oh, it's a good question. I don't have the immediate answer. I am going to think a bit about it. We are going to discuss it internally. I can see the fairness of such a request, but at the same time, it's really like opening Pandora's box.
Yeah.
It really is. It's a very slippery slope because there is a fixed bonus structure. It is there for a reason. There's, of course, incentives for being early and being cool enough to take the risk on us in the pre-sale. So I do respect the person asking this question, and I see the fairness of it. But at the same time, it is quite a difficult thing to change at this point. Now we will take this in discussion internally and see if there is something we can do about it. And it's not about what do we want to do it, it's about just making sure it's fair and clear and does communicate to everyone and doesn't give any special advantages to some people who, it has to be fair. But I think the best answer is let's discuss it internally. It has taken longer time than we expected, and those who came in very early, of course, they've been waiting for a long time. So I get the question, and at the same time, pre-sale is pre-sale, so there is a lot of risk. So I'm sure there are two sides to that argument.
What I would say is, if you are very interested in the project and you feel that you have contributed something special, please take contact with us directly. Because if you are a special friend of the project, we for sure can collaborate with you and work together. And if that turns out to become some kind of deal, either through bounty or anything else, please have the direct discussion with us, and I'm sure we can have an understanding, and at the very least.
As part of our token bounty program, perhaps, or we also have advisors and other contributors to us with various material, etc., who are getting paid in tokens. So I agree with you, Hogne, that's possibly the most constructive way and easiest way for us to make sure it's a fair distribution for all.
So I have a lot of different questions here. Many of these are technical or related to the Friend technology. So let's do a little bit of a mix and see if we can get as many questions answered as possible. So there came in a question, exactly what is the decentralized aspect of Friend, and if it can be used for an illegal deal. So what we want to do with Friend is that we want it to become an immersive and emergent permanent operating system, infrastructure and user interface on the internet. What that means is that as long as there are people in the world, and we think it will be hundreds and thousands of people running servers, the Friend system will operate. And it will operate in a node network of Friend servers that handles the traffic from hundreds of thousands to millions of users online. Hopefully hundreds of millions in the future. But the main point is that it's user-owned infrastructure. It's the users who are running the servers that generate the infrastructure for the Friend system. And that's the decentralized aspect. It is connecting all of these different server nodes running out there and kind of concentrating those in access websites, domain names on the web, where you log in through that access point, if that access point is in Malaysia, or if it's in China, or if it's in the UK or America, you get into your cloud computer through that access node. It doesn't matter where you get through as long as you can authenticate with your credentials, and then you get into the decentralized network. And then inside of there, you have decentralized resources connected to your user account. And those are also user maintained in the decentralized network. And so your user account is kind of the bookmark hot list of all the stuff that's connected to your friend workspace and your friend account. So the entire system is decentralized, where the cluster of friend servers are run by its users. That's the decentralized aspect. Now, can it be used for illegal activity? Of course it can be run, it's just like a hammer. If you buy a hammer, you can go out on the street and break a car window with it. And in that same way, you can use Friend for storing illegal files or telling friends about illegal deals or whatever. You can do that with every service. I mean, you could even do that with Facebook. So, but what we are organizing in the project is a vetted network, meaning that when you log on to the Friend store and you use the service that we're putting together with Friend Network, then you can get software and services that are vetted and reviewed, that you can make sure that there's no malware, that it's high quality software and services, and of course use network services where there is some kind of governance, structured maintenance. We're working on the governance model in the Friend Network with our token to incentivize people to participate in developing the technology and developing the protocols. So definitely there will be a white net in Friend, but there will also be private black nets. The technology is open source, but we're not facilitating that activity.
Exactly. And of course, we will not have any access to actual data and actual information. So this is the only way we can play our role, is to make the technology more and more autonomous and make sure every user owns their own data. We don't have access to any of the information. We don't have any keys ourselves.
Yeah.
So there's another question here, Hogne. We can talk more about the governance, the governance of smart contracts and how we're going to use the token. We can talk about that later on. But I think there's a question here which is painful, is difficult. Your web page contains way too much information, and everyone wants us to. What is the one-liner? Less is more. No, you have too much information. What's the key message? They're having a hard time understanding our message. Now, just this week, and this is always an iterative process, but this week we had the pleasure of talking to some really proficient people. The new whale that is coming on board, a fund. We just have here. I'm not going to show you in detail, but this is that is the staff agreement, and it is signed, and they are also giving us good advice. And we had a little workshop here 2 days ago, and it sort of dawned on me, what is the one-liner? And I think, Hogne, and maybe you want to add to it, I think it's about digital independence.
Yes,
and digital independence for everyone.
So actually that's a great one, Arne. So the whole reason why I wanted to make Friend back in 2014 was digital independence. I had been trying that with Linux since 1999, and it never kind of got there. I got into other open source operating system projects, and I've used all kind. I'm one of the early adopters of open source technology, be it in graphics programs or office programs or whatever. And it never seems to get there. So you always end up having to use a proprietary system for something or overcompensate. We want to help to enable people to become digitally independent and contribute to making the software available as a baseline in life better, and we want to make it more of a rich and fully featured experience faster, and that's what the Friend project is about. It's about accelerating the distribution and development of new decentralized technologies where you're not reliant upon a global corporation to service your servers, to update and bug fix and everything. So we're pretty much a part of the open source movement and all about enablement and digital sovereignty and independence. That's a great one. I agree with that.
Digital independence for everyone. And it's really about putting the users back in the driver's seat. Not back in the bus, but actually having a hand on the wheel. And this is back to the governance and tokens, about incentivizing, using the tokens. So you can earn tokens by suggesting changes. You can earn tokens by proposing how we can improve. And then others can earn tokens by voting, whether they like this or they want to have a different priority on our roadmap, etc. So by using the incentives inherent in the Friend network token, we will accelerate the governance and self-governance to achieve digital independence. Now that's pretty good. So the next question, Hogne, is I tried your software. It's amazingly responsive for remote desktop, and all technical perspectives look really nice. But FriendUP communication seems to be targeted towards a niche tech nerd market. Which is true, because you have to win the developers first. Actually, being built for coding and security rather than aesthetics and ease of use. How will you get to the market, and how are you going to make money? You want to try that?
Yeah. So the thing is that our messaging, keep in mind that Friend can be perceived as a very technologically complex project. And of course it is, but so is every other technology that's available out there. Friend has been cited as an amazing deployment technology. So if you're a developer of decentralized apps, or if you're a developer at all, or just want to make a web service, then using the Friend network to deploy will be extremely powerful. And it has been cited as one of the best selling points of our technology. Of course, Friend is much more than that, and we've kind of evolved in our communication to our friends and partners about what it is, what is Friend. And you're going to see in the update to the website that we are showing much more of what it is for regular users, and much more because we have advanced. I mean, even just the last year, after we started in this blockchain project, Friend has reached the stable branch, which allows us to distribute and deploy Friend for customers. And that has resulted in us having available Office applications, has webmail and everything you're using day to day online, to allow us to offer that through Friend. And so you're going to see that we can offer, like Arne said, digital independence, working in a decentralized cloud with Friend. And that's going to be much more central to our messaging going forward, because that's really what it's all about. That for developers, it's always going to be a great deployment technology and a way to have a way to distribute your software and interact with users without having to sign a contract with a corporate entity. And that's very important. But even more important to much more people is what the technology can do to you day to day. The apps, the functionality, the cloud storage, what you see on the screen right now.
Exactly. So, and the same on the same line, people are asking us how we get to the market, how we're going to make our money, who are our users, is this going to be a niche product, or are we targeting the mass? I like this last one here. Any plans for grandma to use this? Actually, on a personal note, my mother had always problems on finding where are my files, how do I pay in the bank account, how do I do my banking needs online. And as soon as Explorer or Opera or any other browser that she was using were doing an update, she would call me because she couldn't find her way, and she was afraid that she'd lost her files or that things were unavailable. So I'm sure all of us have people around us that are older who are feeling helpless. And this is exactly what Friend can do, is to have a simple and stable, well, I wouldn't say simple, but easy to use and stable user interface that you are familiar with at all times. And then a lot of the complexity in the rest of the world can change as much as it likes, but for grandma, she can have a simple to use template with her basic needs. And maybe some of you who are listening here will be the developer who are making that user experience and actually selling that user experience in the Friend store to grandma. That would be great. My son is 8.5. He just got a Chromebook, and he's starting to hear that Dad is spending a lot of time with Friend and what is Friend, and he's starting to have a little look. We've done a couple of Friend chats together, and he thinks that's fun. Now, maybe some others want to make a user experience towards kids. That is, some particular collection of games, some particular collection of this, that, and the other that kids are interested in. So these user experiences could be templates that developers and even businesses hopefully will use Friend to build, and then they will go to the Friend store and sell those user experiences.
Exactly right. Because the cool thing with the Friend templates is that it's a kind of expanded idea around theming. So when you theme a system, it could be like a Discord theme for chat. It could be a Windows theme or whatever. You change the colors, you change the wallpaper, you change perhaps the icons of your desktop and make it look more personal to your preferences. But the thing with templates is that if you create a cloud computer template in Friend, it has a new wallpaper, it has different colors and so on, but you can even customize the experience. And then you can instantiate that template into a new user account that you, for example, give to your grandmother. And when she opens that in the Friend app on her phone, then she gets an easy phone. So you can give her an Android and you can tell her the only icon you have to click is the Friend icon, and then you get the easy to use functionality, and then you don't have to worry about all the other stuff. And you can even do that for children. So you click the F, then it starts up, and then you get a kind of more goofy Friend interface that only has the fun apps that kid is supposed to use. So Friend is built for customization of the environment without losing capabilities. And so we see, I'm using the Friend app every single day on my phone, and it's like having a phone in the phone. Only that I control exactly what's on there, and I can make it behave the way I want. Of course, I'm the chief technology architect, but the thing is that with templates, everybody can do it. And so I think definitely there will be a Friend for grandma, there will be a Friend for kids, and Friend is not a system for academics and nerds, definitely not.
It's absolutely mind-boggling what you can do with Friend. And there's another question here. I'll read it out. It's kind of fun. I've tried to get a handle on FriendUP several times, but every time I find so much information, I get overwhelmed. I get that you folks are with epic skills. That's probably you, Hogne, and your team. You guys seem, and you make cool stuff. but I'm still confused. Anyways, you guys seem cool. That's probably me. And whatever you are doing with Friend, it works on my Chromebook. I'm not just sure what I can use it for. I think it will accomplish something, but do not. Oh, hang on. There was another questions coming in, but do not know why I believe so or what you will accomplish. Good luck to you all. Well, we just have a stable product now, and we are just about going commercial with it and starting to gain revenue in the fiat world, and then now we are making a decentralized version, and
yeah, I'm just showing. I'm just pulling up OnlyOffice here, just quickly, so that.
Show that, yes, because what it really is we are now going to start to show you what you can do with Friend. We just had to have the first version ready first, but there are different user experiences, different as we talk about templates, but also how you can combine open source and enterprise, how you can have this full freedom of using everything you're using today, but you decide. So you can still use your Google Docs. I have right in front of me now, I have the Friend workspace, and I have a DOS driver to my scary Google Docs. And I call that driver my scary Google Docs because, again, I don't know where those data are when they are stored there. But I know where I have my Friend node, and I know where we have our intranet. So you can, with Friend, you can control the pieces that you want to control, and then you can use resources other places as much as you like. So these degrees of freedom, I can fully understand why people find it a bit difficult to understand. But it's our job to try to help you explain that and explain that to you. And I'm sure more and more developers get it, and they will also help you understand by showing user experiences, like we probably will do right now.
So there is a discussion going in the AI and singularities academic circles about uploading your consciousness and why. You want to upload your consciousness into the internet because you want to have eternal life. You don't want to have the restriction of a living being and all this. It's all science fiction. But what if you could upload your Chromebook into a browser tab, and then it would be kind of out of all the restrictions, being on your hardware and being stuck there, and you having to take it with you everywhere. And that's what Friend really is. Friend is uploading a computer into the browser tab without any compromises. And it allows you to access any terminal, any laptop or mobile phone, and get access to your computer. And so you could just use it on a Chromebook, just like some people are doing right here. I mean, they can start it on their Chromebook and use it as like that. Or if we get max cap, we're going to actually build a FriendBook so that people can actually go and get a Friend on a computer. But the main point is that with Friend, the mind of the machine is out there on the user-owned network. You can build your own networks, you can build your trusted networks, but your computer is now no longer in the hands of corporate entities. You're no longer reliant on going to a company to get your needs met. And so now the computer is yours. And I like that. Digital independence. It's a great one-liner.
Oh, there's a ton of messages jumping in there. We're popular. Okay, we have about 20 minutes or so left, Hogne. There are more questions. I'm wondering, do you want to show them some of a sneak peek on the new website or something, or show them some of the user experience by showing Friend chat share screen, perhaps? Is that?
Well, the screen sharing won't do much on this computer, but what we can do is that we can take a look at some of these files that was sent here. Let's take a look. Let me see. So.
The excitement behind blockchain.
Oh, that's the video.
That's the new video. Okay.
Yeah, we could of course do that, but.
We'll put it on the web page when it's ready.
Yeah, when it's ready.
When do you think the web page will be ready for launch? Do you have a weekend or
here's the preview of the new website. It still needs a little bit of tuning, but as you can see, it's much cleaned up. It looks great, I think.
I'm not seeing it, but maybe they're...
Yeah, I'm having it in a separate tab. So the design is there, and now we're just gonna get it fully implemented on the website. It's halfway there, and then we need to tune some of the sub content, but it should be there in well before the ICO starts. So it's gonna be there. I won't promise any date live, but hopefully it won't take much more than a week to get there.
We will, as I said, get the white paper out there, the revised version, as soon as possible, and we'll get that translated. Again, we have 1/3 filled, and I feel confident in saying that we should be able to fill the entire pre-sale before we open the window on the 28th of May. That should give us a good 16 days to do it. So if you are interested in getting the 20% bonus on the pre-sale, better get going, because third time is lucky. This is the third time we're setting the date, but we feel pretty confident that we will we'll do it this time. We'll get it this time because, well, the market is back. We are more prepared. We have some serious talent on board, both from the financial side, on the advisory side. We'll show you more on the web pages on new advisors coming on board, and we're getting, I'm happy to say we're getting a lot of fantastic talent who are asking whether they can come on board and help us. So, you know, it's learning by doing, and I think this time we can say we're confident we will, the show is on the road, and hopefully in June we will sit here, have some more webinars and talk about having reached the soft cap, and and show you guys how we are deploying and how we perform.
So we got another question, if FriendUP is edge computing. So of course edge is one of these new words. People are talking about fog computing, and they're talking about hybrid cloud and all that. For the business market, Friend fits very well in the hybrid cloud niche, because hybrid cloud is all about allowing people to decide where their stuff is and still using cloud technologies. We're often talking about private cloud and public cloud, where Google would be a public cloud service, and your local ASP could have some kind of private cloud. Edge computing is about placing the infrastructure close to the users. So I know that Google and Azure and all these are setting up servers all over the world, in towns and cities. And that's where the edge is, because there are various different reasons for why people would need to have edge computing infrastructure close by. It could be rules and regulations. It could be just a feeling of safety, and many other things. Put it like this: Friend will be able to give you edge computing, but it will also give you cloud computing. It depends how you use the network modeling tools in Friends to set up the network for your cloud computer. So Friend is an agnostic technology that is very flexible, and that's where it gets technical. To admins who can set up Friend network infrastructure using the decentralized network. But to most people who just come in to use Friend, sign up on some access point and get their credentials, it will be cloud. Because they you know, there may come some wizard saying, would you like to pick a network that's closer to you? Could also be that we decide that it's better, once we have enough nodes running, to automatically use that. But bear in mind, if you're going to go into edge computing, you need to have location services enabled. And a lot of people in the decentralized world are not so happy about sharing their location. Regular people who do that, who have location sharing enabled, they can get edge computing. People who want total anonymity, not necessarily doing something bad, just for the peace of mind, they will get cloud computing.
Exactly, and in one way or another you can say, well, if you read the Wikipedia definition of edge computing, a method for optimizing cloud computing systems by performing data processing at the edge of the network, near the source of the data. Now, I would argue in one way, Friend is almost the opposite, because it enables processing closer to where you are.
Well, the interesting thing is that where is the data in a decentralized network, and it's more akin to cloud. And so, but the thing is that the Friend networking technology is agnostic. So when you just get into it, you're going to use it the same way you're using BitTorrent minus location-related network modeling, unless you have location services. We already have location services in FriendCore, but at the moment we're not utilizing that. But that's definitely something that we will support, and so you're going to be able to choose that.
But in some ways, if you continue to read the definition, Wikipedia definition of edge computing, it says further, this reduces the communication bandwidth needed between sensors and the central data center by performing analytics and knowledge generation at or near the source of data. This approach requires leveraging resources that may not be continuously connected to a network, such as laptops, smartphones, tablets, and sensors. And so I can understand why this particular question is raised, and I think, Hogne, it is correct. We are more of a hybrid than this sort of definition of the edge computing, and then you can of course discuss liquid software and that definition. And at the end of the day, I think a hybrid or a meta operating system, which we've been discussing before, is probably the best description of Friend.
So then you
the good thing, though, the good thing, just to say that, is people are still debating what is Friend, and they're still not able to put us in one box, and that really tells you that it's something new, and it's something different, and
it's like I think Friend is probably like progressive rock.
Well, that's actually quite funny, because when I met you in 2014, I could only on the meta level understand what you were explaining to me, and yeah, because maybe I am a prog rock early fan. That's possible. This is definitely new and different, and it takes some time to wrap your head around it. But if I'm able to do it, you should be able to do it, because I'm not necessarily the most tech guy actually. But if you just listen into what Hogne and the tech team are saying, and look into the Friend universe a bit, you will see that the possibilities are quite big.
So we're getting a question about Russia, and countries like Russia who prefer people to store their data in that location. There's also specific laws and regulations with encryption in Russia. And in this volatile world that we're having at the moment, I'm sure we're going to see more of those type of regulations popping up all over the place. So the thing is that with Friend, actually you're storing your private information locally on your device or in your head, so that you can, which is your credentials. And then you log into the decentralized network. And if you have a requirement of keeping your data in Russia, then be sure to use Russian nodes for your resources. So if you need to store your files there or anything else, then do that there. Of course, when you're using an application or you're using some other digital service, that doesn't necessarily store any data globally. Or it may actually have to adhere to some Russian policies and so on. But the main point is that Friend, your user account, you decide where you want to store stuff, and you decide that's why you're digitally independent. You decide where your stuff is going to be stored. You decide which networks you want to be on, and the choices are in your hand, and the credentials are in your head or on whatever secure device you store your credentials. So so I don't think that's going to be a problem with Russia at all. Actually, we have worked with Russian organizations building software and testing it in Friend, and it's absolutely no problem. So I don't think that's an issue. So
There we go.
here we go. Yeah. So actually, security requirements. The point is that Friend is like an open source system. If we offer a commercial service, then we will have to adhere to a lot of requirements. But as a technology that's freely downloadable, that people can run themselves and choose to take part in, there is no entity delivering this. Of course, legal-wise, people can say you're the source of the technology, and it could be that there would be a situation where somebody would like to set a precedence that you have written the word, and if people are using the word, it's your fault. It's essentially a genre of you have the freedom of speech, but there is a responsibility. So it's responsible speech. And at the same way, some people are looking into implicating developers in responsible code. So that means if I code a hammer and you go break a window in the street with it, then it's the guy who made the hammer who broke the window. And the point is that this will buzz around, and we're hoping that the world will decide with rationality, and we're definitely going to be pushing for that. But if there come some requirements that are really straitjacket style on laws and regulations with data security and so on, we'll have to review that. And anyway, you know, I hope we're going to be in a situation where the token holders and users will be able to vote on how we model our technology to conform with ridiculous requirements. Let me see. Level of security. So we're working with a medical customer who has a health network level security in Norway. And Friend has authentication modules and configurable protocols that can make it adhere to any type of standard. So depending on which use case you're in, if it's a security use case or if it's a medical use case, you'll have to use some special authentication modules like two-factor, all kinds of encryption and so on. It can definitely do anything. And I'm sure you're going to be able to get all kinds of different security features available in the Friend store, and also as patches and versions of the downloadable Friend server. So this is a moving target thing, and we're definitely able to support any level of security in the tech team and with our partners.
Yes. All right, that was quite a blast. 50 minutes since we started. I'm wondering if there's anything else we should cover before we wrap it up and get back. We have a lot to do, and
Yeah.
it's fun, but it's also quite busy. Just know, Hogne and me, we try to be available. We try to answer as much as we can. Ping us on Telegram directly if there's questions you have, or ping our admins. You're also able to reach us on email if there should be any questions, and we do try to listen and try to adjust as much as we can. I think that's about it, Hogne, before I got to run back to the next investor meeting. And I know you guys and your team have a lot to do with getting the final details on the smart contract audit and the web pages and all the other stuff ready. So is there anything we didn't cover?
Well, I think we pretty much covered it. We've answered the questions that we got in. A lot of good questions. We are working hard on getting Friend, the new version of Friend, into our Friend Cloud environment on FriendSky. And we're doing a lot of work on the prototype of Friend Network, which is a peer-to-peer network that we're going to be able to show soon. So a lot of you guys have been commenting in email or in private messages that you think that the FriendSky demo server is a little bit disorganized with a lot of different apps and a lot of beta version apps and so on. And we're cleaning all of that up, but we're not cleaning it in motion. We're cleaning it up on a separate instance of the Friend server. And once it's properly cleaned up, we will upgrade the FriendSky server with a fresh and current, beautiful demo and cloud environment for you guys, and I think it's going to be worth the wait. So just follow us in our channels, and we're going to tell you when you can go into your demo account or into your FriendSky account. We're having a new version of Friend Chat with even better user interface, and we're adding in the Office application so you can play around with that. Everybody is getting an email account through the Mail Now application, which is available to everybody. So I think that's the final word. Just if you want to have the ultimate Friend experience, to check out our technology and see for yourself how it works, then check back once we do the FriendSky Cloud update. And I think you're going to be impressed with what we've done the last few months and weeks. Okay, I think that's it.
Yeah, that's about it. We'll update our web pages as soon as we can. We'll post it on Telegram, the dates and etc. Also in our pin messages. And we will update the white paper, upload the updated white paper as soon as we have the last amendments ready. We'll also make a new one-pager, and that will come with the new web pages and everything, and the new video when that's ready. So stay tuned. Are we going to do this next Friday also, Hogne?
How is with free days? How's the free days?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'll be in Stavanger then, so we will be together. So let's try to do it next Friday as well, because I'm sure then people will have more questions.
Yeah.
So let's try to do this next Friday, same time, same place.
Absolutely. Okay. Have a great week, and guys, and enjoy the sun if you have any.
Thank you, guys.
Okay,
Take
bye.
care.